to show the art of the possible in a multi-cloud world. So you're going to have to, I'm going to talk slowly on this one because there's a lot going on. I want to make sure everybody follows me through it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to show a combination of using hybrid cloud technology, edge cloud technology, and IoT. So we've made this example where there's a brewery, we're going to call it Greg's Irish Brewery, that is using the Azure IoT Edge services, as you see on the screen here. And that microbrewery, I call it the Irish microbrewery because I like Irish beer and I make Irish beer, is running in VMware Solutions by CloudSimple in Azure. And it's using the Azure IoT Edge service. So here's the trace of the telemetry that's coming off of that Edge service to that VM. Now, and here's the VM, here's the picture of the VM actually running with vCenter. You can actually see it running in Azure. So we got the next example is we have a winery application that's also doing monitoring, but the winery application is using the AWS IoT Greengrass service. And you can see the winery service over here, where it's connected with the devices at the winery, feeding telemetry back to the monitoring service, running in AWS Cloud, it's running in VMware Cloud on AWS with the AWS IoT Greengrass service. So here's the telemetry feeding back to that. So now I'm going to do something multi-cloud. I'm going to live migrate the brewery that's running on CloudSimple and Azure over to VMware Cloud and AWS. So I'm going to trade the microbrewery, right? Okay, so I'm going to start the migration using hybrid cloud extensions to do the live migration. And we've set up vMotion replication ahead of time so that the vMotion proceeds more quickly. So just to prove that this is not a cloud magic trick, that what I'm doing, I'm going to actually migrate the winery from Azure VMC on AWS over to CloudSimple. So we'll start that migration. It'll take a couple minutes for this to work. So essentially, HCX is providing this service that allows me to move the VMs between the two clouds while they maintain their connectivity to the native IoT Edge monitoring services that they were already provisioned with. So the Azure winery now is calling the AWS IoT Edge service, and the brewery, now running in VMC on AWS, is calling the Azure IoT Edge service. And the telemetry was never lost because NSX does the underlying magic to make sure the network plumbing stays connected. So I think the live migration is now complete, and you'll be able to see the vCenter instances that show that the winery is now on Azure and the brewery is now on VMC and AWS.
Okay, I want to be clear I got this. First of all, I'll go for the Irish brewery if that's okay, right? So the applications, and I know we've CloudSimple and we've VMware Cloud and AWS involved, but essentially you moved running infrastructure, running applications from an Azure data center to an AWS data center and vice versa.
Correct.
That's pretty epic, but why would I do that?
Just because we can.
Okay.